Hello. Hope you've all recovered from the effects of Storm Eunice. We've got away quite lightly, really, but we have suffered some damage. And if you just look to my left, you'll see that the polytunnel is completely blown down. Now, that's rather meant that we can't use that for keeping our plants in. So we've had to make a makeshift bench. In this case, it's an old bed frame. But you know, jobs still need doing, and we still have to do things. So yeah, it's a case of reusing, recycling, and getting on with the jobs. Now today, it's the end of February. We're getting towards the end of February. What is it? The 20th day. It's a Sunday. The chili plants, they have been in these pots now for around about a month, a little over. I think it was the 21st of January. These were the seed was planted, which you saw me do. And I did say that if you want to follow us along, if you're growing yours, that we would go through each of the stages to bring these plants on. So 4 weeks or so, and yours should be looking like this, like ours. They have just been on our windowsill, happily growing away. They did go onto a heat mat to help them germinate. Like I say, they've just been sitting on our kitchen windowsill, happily growing away. So, take a pot. You don't want a too big a pot. Principally, it's a waste of compost anyway, and they probably will want potting on again before they ultimately go out into the ground. But also, the bigger the pot, the more water you tend to put on it, and these plants don't like sitting in lots of water. So, just going to lightly fill a pot, and then make a hole. And it's just a question of teasing the plant out. You can see it's got a nice little root going on there. And I've just dropped my rather long spoon. Always hold it by the leaf, not by the stem. If you lose a leaf, it can grow another leaf back. But if you break the stem, it will be terminal. So then it's just a question of dropping it into the pot. And because these have been on a windowsill, they have got a little bit leggy, which means there's quite a lot of stem. But the good news is you can bury that stem. So they are the chilies that are pricked out. Hello, who's Poppy found? And you can probably see beside them a little earlier I pricked out some dahlias that we started off a couple of 3 weeks back. Now also today I want to prick out and pot on our peppers and the aubergines. So I'm going to crack on with that, and then we'll come back to you once I've just finished doing these. We're going to use the same process. It's going to be exactly the same. I just wanted to see what sort of stage they are at. Now some people, they like to ensure that they've got their second leaves fully established before they prick out, and you can see that the plants we're planting out, this one is quite well developed and it's got its second leaves coming. I don't really always pay any attention to that once the seeds are the seedlings are of a size that they can be planted on. Then I tend to do it, and you generally know because they are starting to get their second leaves. These ones aren't quite so advanced, but they're going to be absolutely fine to pot on. So let's get on with that. That's the aubergines and the peppers and the chilies pricked out, so another job done. And I shall take those back down to the house and keep them on our windowsill. The ambient temperature is a bit more there. If they stay here in this unheated greenhouse, they're just going to sit here and not really do much. They do like a bit of temperature, so they're going to go back down to the house. Now, conversely, it's taken 4 to 5 weeks for those plants to get to that stage. But you can see with the brassicas, they don't need the heat that the other plants need. And it's only taken them 2 weeks to get to this stage. And if you watched our video a couple of weeks back where I sowed the seed for these Savoy cabbage and Calabrese, yeah, they've now got themselves to a stage now where I can prick those out too. Now, it'll be slightly different with the brassicas. I'm going to be putting these into modules, and principally I want to put them into the modules because when it comes time to plant these out and I dip my holes in the soil, it's going to be about the right size plug to pop into the ground. So you can see I've filled the tray with some organic peat-free compost. One thing that is quite important when you do go to prick these out is that it wants to be quite firm. Brassicas like firm ground. It's one of the reasons that if your soil is on the clay side like ours is, brassicas grow really quite well because the soil tends to be firm. So I've pressed it down so that it's fairly firmish. So we'll start with the Calabrese. And you can see they've formed quite a bit of root already. And just as we did with the other plants, we'll make a nice deep hole and then pop that plant in. And again, just like the others, you can bury as much of the stem as you want. So that the plants don't become too leggy. It actually does help strengthen the plant by doing that. And there's our first Calabrese, pricked out and potted on. So again, I'm going to carry on doing this. I'm sure you don't want to see me fill this whole tray up. And then we'll come back to you when I've just done that. And there we are. Savoy King cabbage have been pricked out, and the Marathon Calabrese. Now these will stay in this greenhouse and they're going to be fine, and they'll grow away ready for planting out in a couple of 3 weeks time, when I believe that the time and weather conditions will be right for them to go out. It's not going to take too long. Brassicas grow on really quite quickly. If you've been following us over the last few weeks and you've been sowing your seeds, this is the next stage that you need to move your plants onto. I hope you enjoyed this video today, and it's been of some value to you. I sincerely hope that you all remained really safe as the 2 storms came through. As I said before, we've had a little bit of damage. One of our cloches has gone over. You can probably see behind me while we've been filming. And as a consequence, 1 or 2 of the kale plants have gone over. You can see, late February, we've still got sprouts to pick and eat. Really quite lovely. I've taken some photographs of some of the damage that we've had due to the storm, and I shall be uploading those to our social media pages. So at No Dig Norfolk Gardener, if you want to have a look at those, and you'll be able to see the pictures that we put on there. Now, we'd love you to subscribe to our channel, and if you've enjoyed it, please do so. Please give us a like if you enjoyed this video, and we shall see you on the next video.